Hey y'all, let's do hot takes for DocReady. This is a telemedicine platform. So, usual caveat, I don't have access to the analytics. I don't have deep knowledge of the business model. I don't have intimate awareness or familiarity with the audience. So, this is all just from the outside, from a UX and I guess quote unquote best practices perspective. What do I think? What might I change or test within the website experience? So, a couple assumptions I'm going to throw out. I'm assuming that as a visitor, I'm coming in on mobile and I'm coming in from search. So, whether that's organic search or paid search, I've looked up some sort of a keyword search about medicine. I want to see a doctor. I want to see a doctor online, and I've landed on this page. So, let's do it. I'm in mobile preview mode. Maybe that's another caveat. This doesn't always behave exactly like a mobile phone would, so we're just going to do our best to see what we can learn. So, here it is. Okay, DocReady. Let me start with the good. I think that CTA is awesome. I love it. It's large, it's prominent, it's action oriented. Book an appointment. I'm assuming that is how we make money here. That is what we want somebody to do. So to show somebody right away, here's the button, this is what you can do here, that's a win. I like it. I don't know about the color. I think it's good enough. It contrasts, it stands out, and I don't think button color is super important. Just prominence and clarity of the message is what's important. Moving on to a piece that I don't necessarily love is the chat that popped open right away. So again, I don't know. For all I know, the presence of this chat window is increasing signups by 200%, and I'm an idiot. But my thought here is if it pops up right away, before I even had the chance to read the copy or think about what I want to do here, scroll, check out the site, if it's covering up the image down there, so it just kind of looks like a weird jumble of arms. And I guess most importantly, check it out. At least on this emulator screen, it's actually the close chat dialog button is covering up part of the CTA, and to me, that's a violation. I want that CTA always to be prominent, visible, easily tappable, because that's what we want people to do. So I would definitely consider, I would want to look at the chat logs and look and see if there is a strong correlation between people engaging with chat and people who actually book appointments. And maybe so. Maybe this is a process where people need a lot of hand holding, have a lot of questions, perhaps. Another thing too is depending on what we're at, where we're at with numbers. If we have at least a few hundred appointments coming in per month, then we're in a position where we can start to A/B test stuff. And hiding the chat for half the visitors and just see what happens is a super straightforward test to build and run. What we might find is that it doesn't help at all, or that it even hurts because it's in the way, which is kind of my hypothesis here. So I'm going to dismiss it. Um, okay, so I can see the whole thing. And so now I've got this little message dialog down here. Yeah, I would say we're better off letting the copy speak for itself and the images speak for themselves than to have the chat be that aggressive. But again, it's something that's measurable, so maybe I'm wrong. All right, just reading over what we have here. So limited time offer, 39 bucks. We've got the 3 bullet points. We've got the smiling family. I love them, and at the same time, I don't know if stock imagery really adds much to a website in 2020. Again, it's something you could test, but I've had a lot of experience with just removing extraneous stuff, and I would probably just do it. If I owned this site and if I didn't know for a fact that that image was helping conversions, I would probably just drop it and go with a plain gradient background. No people to look at. Just focus on the message at first. Or, and this is tough on mobile, but if there's a way actually to show the product, the sooner the better. I think that's usually a good idea. So if I was able to show somehow, hey, here's what it looks like after you book an appointment and you're using this service, if I could convey that visually, that's something I'd want to work in. But I don't think the stock image helps. So far, I'm saying, the chat, not convinced it matters, and the stock photo, not convinced it helps. Love the CTA. Let's get down into some of the copy. So I don't hate anything about it. One thing that pops out is the ampersand in the headline. makes me wonder if it's possible to segregate out visitors. If this is a paid acquisition play and we can say, okay, people looking for urgent care go here and people looking for primary care go here. I don't know if that's possible or not, but if it is, I would want to do that so that I could simplify that headline so that the people with the urgent care intent clicking on the urgent care ad land on the page that just says urgent care and I don't need ampersand primary care. Simplify, easier to scan because the first thing I'm doing as a visitor is like, do I belong here? Is this what I want? And that makes it a little quicker to decide, yes, yeah, okay. And then I can just move into decision mode. Do I want to do this or not? Likewise with primary care. So if that's possible, I would want to. Or if one or the other just strongly dominates conversions, if 95% of the people who come here and actually sign up are looking for urgent care, I would drop the primary care language. But I don't know. I'm looking at this $39. I'm thinking it's probably a key selling point. That seems really cheap. So I wonder, and I'm not a designer, but I wonder if there's a way to make that a little more prominent, almost as a call out, or make it a little bigger, give a little more space. We might gain that option if we're able to simplify the heading. It also might not be possible. I have a couple questions about these bullet points, and I don't know if this is just me. I would probably want to run some 10-second tests where I just throw this at a bunch of other humans and ask them to quick scan the page and see what they get from it, what questions they come away with, if they do understand what this is for. But I wonder about no downloads. I'm just curious how compelling a value proposition that is. And again, I don't know. Do the competitors all require a download? And do people landing on this page know that the competitors would require a download? And do they care? If that's a yes, 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 then this is perfect. If it's a no or a yes, maybe no, or anything like that, we might be able to sneak in something more compelling there. Again, the question is, does saying no downloads really help people make up their minds? Does it change their mind or not? And I don't know, but I'm skeptical. Likewise, no insurance. I have a question about that, and that's just, does that mean no insurance accepted or simply no insurance required? So this again comes down to knowing about the visitors, right? Who are the customers here? If none of them has insurance, or if they don't want to get insurance involved, then maybe no insurance is actually the best way to say it. If it's possible to use your insurance for this service, but it's not a requirement, then I think maybe no insurance required is more reassuring and is a little clearer. Not sure. And a final nitpick as far as just the layout here, I think a little bit of padding or margin between the no downloads bullet and the CTA would be nice. If we kill the stock image, then we definitely have the space for that. So that's the end of my nitpicks above the fold. But let me check out the site. Okay. Talk with a doctor in minutes. I didn't even know that was a thing. So again, the question, do people come here wanting to speak to someone right away, or do they actually want to book an appointment? And I don't know. But that seems like a pretty solid value proposition, right? I almost want to say if we decide no downloads doesn't matter, talk to a doctor in minutes might be more compelling up here at the top. Okay, boom, no insurance required. Okay, so that is clarified. So yeah, I rambled and rambled about that, but I'm just going to say no insurance required here, I think is clearer. I might be the only crazy person confused by that, but there it is. Another CTA, why not? Sure. All right, this image is actually really nice, I think. This shows you the product in my read. This is a visual that conveys here's what it's like to actually book the appointment and go do the thing and use this service. So I don't know that this fits right above the fold in the very top in the hero along with the messaging, at least not on mobile, but I like it. And maybe as a very first visual on scroll, if we do decide we don't like the stock image, and so we've just got some simplified messaging up here, potentially, all theoretically, and if maybe the chat has been relegated, I sight unseen without knowing the story and having the analytics, I would say probably safe to have the chat trigger on scroll, like when I get, halfway down the page and or after a certain amount of time on the page. Like the chat can be absent when I land and can just appear after 15 seconds or something. I would be surprised if that cost money here. I would think if anything that would increase conversions because people can focus on the main content. So if we imagine stock photo gone, chat is gone at least on initial page load, then we can sneak this very friendly doctor and this very happy, healthy woman up to where they're just peeking up on most phones, and you can get a quick visual for boom, here's what your life's going to be like once you book that appointment. And I think that's motivating. Okay, we got the three how it works here, and I'm almost confused by the second bullet point in the sense that schedule an appointment. I almost think schedule appointment is one step. I think what we're going for here is first you schedule the appointment, that's one, and then you have the appointment, that's two, and then you receive treatment, that's three. And I don't know that that's quite clear to me. I don't also necessarily think it matters that much. I don't think these three icons and subheadings are costing conversions per se, but I might seek to clarify, I guess. I like that it's three. Three's good. Um, maybe schedule your appointment, see a doctor. If that would fit, would that fit where it says, is that's about the same number of characters, right? See a doctor. Schedule, see a doctor, and then can we do receive treatment? I'm not sure. I think that making all three of these verbs would be helpful. Just be clearer, quicker to scan. When I see this, I feel a little confused, especially because the first two, those two words typically go together. I might click for more information, but let's keep looking. Okay, saving money. Okay, so we got some competitors here, and they're more expensive. They're a lot more expensive. It almost makes me wonder, like, how is it so cheap? I don't know that that needs to be addressed or not, but that's a big difference. And I assume that's probably a big selling point. If we can assume that people are comparison shopping, then taking me back to this $39, if I can make that just a little bigger, a little bolder, put a little border around it, background, call out, something, that seems huge. Although it's limited time offer, so I wonder if it almost, well, we could put it in a little banner at the top, but let's not go crazy here. Okay, I skipped a bit. So there's a savings and then there's the copay. Emergency room, urgent care. So this is comparing to, okay, so this is comparing to telemedicine. This is comparing to going to a physical facility, wait time. Okay. All right. I want to say these charts, they're not quite scanning for me visually. This little nub is almost too small for me to realize that I'm meant to compare its length to these. So off the top of my head, I don't know the answer, but if there's a way to convey, really all we're trying to say here is that, hey, this is much quicker than going to the emergency room, going to urgent care, or trying to book an actual appointment. So it's something that I might kick to a designer because I'm not real good at that stuff, but I might just say, hey, here's what we've got. It's kind of wordy. The lengths of the bar charts are such that it doesn't even necessarily scan as a bar chart, at least on mobile. How can we better convey this? I think there's probably a quicker graphical way to say, look how fast, because this is really fast. In fact, it's so fast, as little as 5 minutes to see a physician, that coming back up to these top three value propositions, I wonder if that could go there too. And so now I'm kind of torn, right? Because what did we have before? Oh, okay, that was the same one I said. My bad, I got confused. Yeah, talk to a doctor in minutes. Okay, just coming back to that. That seems like a differentiator. I do not know. Do these platforms also give you a doctor in minutes? If they do, well, it still seems important. Okay, cool. We got some reviews. Love to see it. Okay, great. Yeah, these seem real to me. So the first thing that goes through my head is am I looking at fake reviews? And there's an actual doctor's name, and there's actually, a couple sentences worth for some of these, and they're recent. So I think this is good. I've got no beef with this widget at all. I would be curious to see how many people even make it this far down the page. And out of those people, how many of them end up booking an appointment? I wonder if it's the kind of element that might belong higher up in the page. Who knows? But no strict recommendation there. We're in like experiment land with that type of idea. And then we have ratings. Okay. 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star. So this actually to me it almost looks a little suspicious. This might take me down a rabbit hole of where I first landed and I was thinking, okay, well, what do they do here? Does this meet my needs? How hard is it going to be? How much is it going to cost? How long is it going to take? This might send me to, wait a second, are these reviews real when I see all 5 stars? So it's a thing you can experiment with, but I almost prefer to see a 4 star review in here. And if this is some sort of automatic widget, if there's a setting that says allow in 4 and 5 stars on the homepage, just so it looks real, because all 5 star reviews to me look suspicious. Maybe not everybody, but it's not just me. Urgent care, primary care, mental health, men's health, women's health. Okay. All right. So this is good. I think this is a way to say, okay, here's all the different medical services that we serve. Um, mental, men's, women's. I wonder actually about kids, about pediatrics, because there's a kid up here. And so I absolutely think it's necessary to have some kind of content that says here's what type of services you can get. I would assume that's a pretty big question in the visitor's mind, right? They know if it's urgent care that they're in the right place. They know if it's primary care that they're in the right place. But any other major areas, and you can go to your doctor's data set, I guess, or your appointment data to see what kind of appointments people are booking. But anything that's outside of urgent or primary care that is offered that does have a substantial number of people interested in it, we want to put in here somewhere. And so, yeah, I guess I would add pediatrics if it's a thing, maybe. But again, that should come out of patient or customer data rather than out of me just talking. All right, doctor's notes. So, okay, so some kind of. All right, so yeah, psychiatry. I guess we had mental health. Yeah. All right. So lots of services. They've got some blog posts, content stuff. Sweet. FAQ. All right. So I wonder about this one. Can I receive a prescription? And that brings me back to treatment. And this is a big question. I don't know the answer, but to what extent is it necessary to carry the visitor who just landed on this website, to carry them all the way through past their appointment and let them know what's going to happen next? What questions do they have that are blockers versus what can wait until after they've taken a further step or even fully booked the appointment or even gotten to the appointment? And I just don't know. I would maybe even hmm, I would maybe use the chat widget to try to get that information, and maybe that data is already in the chat logs, but asking really pointed questions. And if the chat pops up after 15, 20, 30 seconds, then it's probably going to get more attention, going to get more interaction. And so a simple question like, hey, what's the number one thing that you're unsure of? That's not really well worded, but something along those lines to try to gather qualitative data about, okay, if people are hesitating, if they've been on the site, I don't know, like 45 seconds, 2 minutes, those people, what is their question? And I wouldn't have a clue, but I think there's probably kind of a data driven way to get that answer out of people. So I want to do one more thing while I'm here, and I want to click for more information just to get clarity about these 3 steps. Whoa, okay, okay. Do not like. Um, this is probably like an accident or a mistake, and this might just be a bug because again, I'm using Google Chrome in mobile emulator mode. This isn't a phone. I hope this doesn't happen on the phone, but if it does, I'd definitely shut that down. Um, yeah, so, all right. So now I've got 2 widgets down here. I'm not sure that that adds value. I might consider just ditching that one too. Okay, yeah, so schedule appointment, see a doctor. I think makes more sense here. And then treatment, prescription or a plan. Okay. I'm not going to produce this off the top of my head, but some way to say this very concisely, because I think it's going to be on people's minds, but we don't need to give them all the details right away. Just the idea that you will get the help you need from this doctor, right? I want to reassure my visitor, hey, you're going to see a doctor. It's going to be easy, and they're going to get you what you need. So I guess that could be a prescription, it could be a referral, or it could be, I'm not sure actually what else it could be. But a quick, I would want to kind of workshop some quick, concise ways to explain, to convey in a sentence or less, you're going to get what you need. And maybe that can come as well from what the majority of actual visitors and patients want, right? If most people are coming here and they just need a prescription, then it's probably enough to say, yes, you can get a prescription and let the rest of the people just wonder. That's fine. Not sure. All right, so I think that's it. All in all, a little bit, I mostly pay attention up here because that's what everyone's going to see. And then, we lose people the further down the page we go. But just a handful of suggestions, nothing major. Just about eliminating some distractions, maybe a couple of points that can be clarified, adding a little more detail about what's covered, potentially making the reviews look a little more trustworthy. And I'm not saying they're not real, I'm just saying that people are skeptical and there are sites that have not real reviews, and you don't want to look like one of those sites. And then this, again, I would throw this section at a designer and just ask them to come up with a different concept for conveying this, at least on mobile. It's kind of hard to get this. You have to read a lot of words. You have to understand that this is a bar chart with words in between. I don't think it works. So a concise way of saying, hey, cheaper copay than visiting a physical location, and it's quicker. I wonder if we don't need the comparison, if we can just say it's cheaper and it's quicker. Anchoring to this $300 visit for the ER is actually kind of nice. But yeah, this section maybe, well, whatever. I obviously don't know the answer because I'm not a designer, but I'll take another pass at that. Bonus, let's take a quick look at the book and appointment flow and see if anything pops out there. All right. Oof. Okay. So I don't even know if I have to say it, but I click the button. I want to book an appointment. How is anything on this screen helping me book an appointment, right? I have to get stuff out of my way before I can get down to work. So on this page, I would definitely kill the chat widget, at least the pop-up on page load. I would definitely get rid of the overall rating 5-star thing. And if possible, I'd like to push the first interaction up to where it's on my phone, on my screen visible without me having to scroll. So I think DocReady will see you now is redundant here maybe. I know I'm on DocReady because I've got the nav up here. Um, board certified, 3 easy steps. Okay. So this is nice. This is really easy to tap. I think maybe if we could just scrunch this up, and I don't know what's possible here. We get into, spending money paying developers to change the interaction. I don't know if this can happen or not, but it would be great if this was gone or maybe smaller, and I just move the whole thing up. And then if I could also move these choices up under the step one, have a little like expand collapse type of thing. Um, then when my screen loads, no chat widget, no 5-star reviews, no redundant text. It's just, hey, what time zone are you in? And that's really easy, right? That's a great first step, super straightforward. So I'm in Central. Okay, yeah, considering that it's pushing to a new page, maybe it is possible to just move the 2 and the 3 below the buttons. And I'm not going to go back, but those buttons also had a lot of margin between them. I would put them a little closer together just so I can see them all at once and tap the right one. Ah, okay, interesting. So this, all right, so repeating that maybe we can kill this stuff up here and book your appointments in 3 easy steps. So one is faded out, and then this looks like it wants me to tap it when I first see it. And again, dismiss this. It looks like I'm supposed to tap this even though I already did. So that's confusing until I get to here. And then it says state visit reason. But my instructions say select the reason for your visit. So depending on how much it costs to rework this flow, I think it can be made a little straightforward. So maybe if it first step was select your location, and it's 2 steps, right? Select your location, time zone, and state. That tracks. That I can get why you want to ask that. Sure, let's go. And then I could get to reason for your visit. Don't know if that's feasible. Not worth spending $100,000 on developers to do that, but it would be easier, more straightforward. So I'm in Alabama. Visit reason. Okay. All right. Interesting. So if these are the only 2 choices, period, or the only 2 choices in Alabama, if I had come in on the homepage and I was looking for mental health, this would make me, I guess I'd be stuck here. I would think, oh, wait, can I not get it? Or if so, which one should I pick? So there may be resolution there, maybe no mental health in Alabama. I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case. But if I am meant to pick, say, primary care, in case I want mental health, that might be something to clarify. Age as well. I don't know if that's required or if I'm just able to pick. So that's a little unclear. I'm not sure what step I'm on anymore. Select your doctor. Yeah, okay. So these steps in general, I think maybe there's a lot that can be done to clarify this. It may be more important than some of my nitpicky notes on the homepage, if I'm honest. So I'm going to stop here. I might come back and do another pass at this one, but that's hot takes. That's enough hot takes for hot takes. And yeah, thanks for watching.